Hey everyone, Dan Longman here at Priority Lending. I hope you're all doing well. So I wanted to talk about today the big buzzword going around out there, which is recession. All right, a lot of you probably heard this. You see it on the news, social media. Heading into a recession? Are we in a recession? So before we talk about that, let's define it, right? What is a recession? So a recession is usually a temporary period of economic decline. And when I say temporary, it's usually associated with 2 consecutive quarters. So 6 months of a decline, and this is a decline in our stock market, job loss, retail sales, industrial, just an overall economic downturn for a temporary period of time. So, you probably have all heard it, we're seeing it with high inflation, is this gonna cause us to go into a recession? Well, the reality is we might already be in one. Right? Sometimes you don't know it, sometimes right away. Of course, it takes a couple months and then you realize that you're in a recession due to all the factors I named. But the reality is we're probably in one right now. And it's no surprise with super high prices, inflation at a 40-year high. A lot of people thought this was inevitable.
I am inevitable.
The one thing I really want to talk about when it comes to the recession is how does this impact housing? Housing, believe it or not, actually does relatively well during a recession. And part of that reason being is because usually when we're in the midst of a recession, rates will come down. If you think about it, to try to spark the economy, the Fed usually acts as that gas pedal and brake, which right now they're putting on the brake that we've talked about in other videos. But during recession, they might have to press that gas pedal again and try to get the economy revved up. So therefore they'll do that by lowering rates. So yeah, usually housing does pretty well. If you were to go back and look at the last 6 or 7 recessions in our economy in the US here, almost all of them except for one, housing did well. The only one that housing did not do well is because they were the cause of the recession was the 2008 financial crisis. But that was unique. Every other one, housing wasn't the cause of it and housing fared well. So just wanted to put that out there as far as recession. Now, let's talk about a housing crash because I get that a lot too. Are we heading into this bubble? Are we gonna head into this crash? And I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I do not think this market now should be compared to 2008, the financial crisis that we experienced. So number 1 is being inventory, the supply and demand issue. You probably hear it all the time. There's limited supply. And let's put that in perspective. I mean, right now, I'd say the average of supply is 2 months. There's about a 2-month supply between buyers and inventory out there. A healthy market is usually about 6 months. So you can tell we're around 2, healthy 6, so it's well below. During the 2008 financial crisis, it got as high as 11 months of supply. So you can see that's a big difference between now being about under 2 months to back then close to 11 months. So definitely because of that supply, I do not think we're anywhere close to a crash. We might obviously be in a cooling, and that's inevitable, right? With rates going up and prices skyrocketing, I think it's absolutely cooling off. I think we're starting to see it already, but not a crash. So reason number 2 is the home buyers out there are more credit worthy. Back in 2008, you guys have probably heard it, there was these, no income verification loans and you could have really low credit scores and the subprime industry was rampant. People were putting down little to nothing. They had no skin in the game. Well, that's all changed. Now it's, rules and regulations are much more strict in the lending industry. You have to have a good credit score. You have to have a decent down payment. So that is definitely a big factor of why we won't see a crash when it comes to the consumer part. And number 3 and final is homes have equity. I mean, that's been the great thing over these last couple years is that a lot of people have built significant equity in their properties. So, for it to crash, people are not just going to get up and walk away from their homes like they did in the 2007 and 8 financial crisis where they had very little equity. So they have a lot more invested in it. So therefore they are not going to do that. So based on those 3 reasons, I don't think the housing market is going to crash. However, I think everything is cyclical in real estate. I do think we're going through a shift here. This is probably a good thing for buyers because, like I said, they've struggled with little inventory, prices skyrocketing, and now higher rates. So I think this shift was inevitable. So, but anyway, just wanted to give you my take on that with the recession in the housing market. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We want to be your lender, so anything we can do to assist you during these times, please let us know, okay? Hope you have a great weekend and talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.